to episode 2 of the Knotty Giraffe. My name's Glenna and I'm coming to you today from Kelowna, British Columbia, where it is another hot one out here. I believe it's not going to be quite as bad as it has been all week. We've been up in the mid-30s most of the week, and I think today it's supposed to be a nice cool 32 degrees, which is going to be a bit of a relief, I'm sure, for the dogs anyways. It has been quite a crazy month since I recorded last. There's been a lot of drama around here, mostly because of moths. I don't know if any of you have ever had to deal with moths before, but honestly, I think it's like a knitter's worst nightmare. I mean, other than, you know, losing your eyesight or a limb or fingers or something, I've had to go through and put all my yarn into freezer bags. I went online and researched it, and it said the best thing to do is to freeze your yarn for a couple of weeks. Do it for a week, thaw it for a day, and then put it back in for another week. And bag everything into airtight bags. So I've had to do a lot of stash clearing, and my freezer is so full of yarn right now. It is crazy. It's a good job I'm vegan and I don't have a lot of other stuff in there. I couldn't imagine if I, you know, had a freezer full of meat or something, I'd be in trouble. Anyhow, it's been kind of crazy here with the moths. I thought I had it all under control, and then I just went down to do laundry and remembered I had some more yarn stashed downstairs, and I opened the box, and sure enough, right in there, sitting on top of a ball of pink yarn, was a moth. So I quickly killed it and then went through all that yarn, figured out what I want to keep, and the rest just got bagged, and it's either in the freezer or it's gone. So yeah, not the optimal way to clear your stash, but at least I think now I have it all under control. So yeah, it started, I noticed it the first time when I was making those fingerless mitts that I showed you in the first episode. I had this yarn, this Zauberball stuff, and when I started to cast on with it, I noticed it just kept breaking, and I thought, wow, there's something wrong with this yarn. So I went back to the store I bought it from, and I said, you know, there's something wrong with this, and the lady said, oh no, she said, you know, well, you must have damaged it somehow. And even she didn't clue in right away. It wasn't until somebody else said about 3 weeks later, they said, you know, it's probably moths. And I thought, moths? I haven't seen any around. And then sure enough, I noticed right away, yeah, I have moths. There was a few flying around every now and then, and apparently they were quite hungry and they got into my stash. So I don't know where they came in from. It might have been in all that yarn that my friend gave me when she stash busted, because it was around the same time. But yeah, that's when free yarn does not become a deal, when it starts infecting all your others. So I'm just putting it out there as a warning. You know, really watch for moths. I've gone to Canadian Tire, and I got some of these cedar rings that I've been putting into the bags after they come out of the freezer, and keeping everything sealed up, because yeah, I don't want to have to deal with moths again. So anyhow, enough of the drama. It did, however, cause me to put my Silver Stag sweater on hold for a bit as it sat in the freezer. So I moved on and did some other projects. I decided to cast on a hat that I've been wanting to make for a friend of mine. I'm hoping that I can go and stay at his place for a little bit camping, and I thought it would be nice to have a present to give him. So I made this. It's called it's called the Sawtooth hat, and I'll post the pattern up on it. It's I made it with the Malabrigo Rios, which Malabrigo Rios. The main colorway was the yerba. Oh gosh, of course this isn't going to work because it's flipped. I'll just put it up so you can find it. But it's yeah, it was a very quick knit. I had a little bit of trouble with the pattern. I ended up not doing the top row of mountains because I just kind of got my right twists and left twists confused a little bit a few times, and finally just said, you know what, I like it like this. And so I just, yeah, finished it. But it was a very quick knit. I cast it on, I think I did it in 2 days, 2.5 days, just picking it up and knitting when I felt like it. It's what did I knit it on here? Oh yeah, okay, it was, sorry, yeah, I cast it on July 19th and I finished July 22nd. So it was, I used the size 4mm needles for the ribbing and size 5 for the hat. And yeah, just 1 ball of each, and I've got plenty left over. I think I could make probably another 2 hats, maybe even a 3rd one if I switch the colors. So yeah, it was fun, a little bit frustrating. I found the instructions not quite as clear as I would have liked, but once again, I did my thing where I took the chart and then I wrote it out by hand, because charts, of course, you read from, you know, you read it from right to left. And so then when I write it out, I write it from left to right so that I can read as I go along. It'll make sense if I put a picture up. But yeah, I find that always helps me with color work, just to make sure I get it right. So moving on, I want to just talk briefly about what I'm wearing so that I can get it off because it is hot. This is the Felix cardigan, designed by Amy Christophers. It's, I like it. I love the yarn that I used. I absolutely love this yarn. It's a tweed, as you can see. And I'll put the name and maker up on the screen because I can't remember right now who did it. But it was a fairly quick knit because it's very thick yarn and it's got great details. I love the way the sleeves come down with the, you know, with the little eyelets all the way down. It's beautiful. But I find it's kind of boxy. I don't know, it's like up top here, it's really, oh, there goes my clock. I think I mentioned in the first episode, I have a lot of clocks. That one is a captain's clock that belonged to my grandfather, who was a sea captain. And it has a very weird chiming system that is not easy to explain, so I'm not even gonna try. But, and that's my dog whimpering. He's obviously having a dream. I don't know. Finn again. Finn. Oh well. Anyhow, yeah, so this cardigan, as you can see, it, you know, it fits snug down on the bottom, but it's just like really just boxy. I don't know, there's something about it. I love the yarn so much. I'm tempted to just rip the sweater out and knit something else with it. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided what to do with it yet. But I'm wearing it today just so that I can, yeah, show it to you as something that you might not want to knit. So off it comes before I swelter and die in this heat. So I did manage to get some work done on my Silver Stag sweater, which I was hoping I would have had finished for today, but it spent 2 weeks in the freezer, so it's, yeah, And then I went camping for 2 weeks, or for a week, and ended up working on some macrame work, which maybe I'll post a photo of it up. I do a lot of macrame as well. But yeah, so here it is. I've got one sleeve finished, and the other sleeve is almost finished. So I should be able to have this done by episode 3, and maybe it'll be cool enough that I can actually wear it, because it really is pretty. It's turned out lovely. It's yeah, I just absolutely love it. I can't wait for Christmas. I'll actually have a really nice Christmas sweater to wear this year. In case you missed episode 1, I did talk about it a bit there. It's a free pattern from Drops, which you can find on their website. It's called the Silver Stag. And I have knit this one in, what it was, the Bitches and Bitches. The Beaches and Beachu something. Yeah, Beaches and Booches, the Norwegian red. And the white is the Sandens Garn Tyne, Pure Giant. Oh boy, I'm just mangling those words. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize to the companies for my lack of pronunciation here. So other finished objects, I finished a pair of socks, and I'm kind of proud of myself. I got a sock blocker. I've never blocked a pair of socks before, and you know what? They look kind of nice when they're blocked, don't they? I guess that's why people do it. So now that these ones are finished, they were in the Opal Fantasy Dragon something. Again, I will put the notes up for that because I really can't remember what it is. My memory, honestly, I think it's the heat. The heat just seems to be getting to me right now. It's, yeah, woof, there goes the brain. So now that those ones are done, I was able to cast on my paint socks, which I am just down to the toe on right now. I was really surprised the way these knit up. When I looked at the skein, it looked like there was a lot more white in it. I was expecting it to be sort of like just little bits of confetti color and not quite so colorful. I'm happy with them, but it was just not what I was expecting. I put a little pop of color on the top. That's some of my hand-dyed yarn that I used. I did a yarn dyeing workshop with Kelowna Yarns last summer and got a couple of skeins done, and yeah, I thought I would just add the purple. And I'm sort of regretting that I didn't do the heel in purple, but I think I'll do the toe in purple, just so that it has the purple toe and the purple cuff. I think that'll look nice. We'll see, we'll see. But I'm knitting them on my 2.25 Xiagu Magic Loop needles, which is what I pretty much always knit socks on. I've never tried knitting them just in the round. I know people who do love it because you're not always having to feed the needle through, but you know, when you knit in the round, you're constantly having to shift anyways, so it's one or the other, right? So yeah, I can't remember when I cast these on, but they're, yeah, it was just some yarn that I have not in the freezer. The other thing I did, I said I wasn't going to do until I finished my Silver Stag sweater, but I have started casting on for my Trinnigan, which is what I've been itching to get at this. So all I've got so far is, it's not even really worth showing, is I've started the ribbing on the bottom. That's as far as I've got. It's going to be gorgeous, I think. It's knit with the Malabrigo Rios yarn in the, well, gosh, you know, the yarn's in the freezer. up so you can see what it is. It's from Malabrigo, and it is super, super soft. The same yarn that I made my sawtooth hat with, same brand. I bought it at the same time when I was in Vernon at the yarn sale, where I got the sock yarn too. So I was off camping for a week in the Kootenays. It was lovely. I have this little old bowler trailer, 1973. It's the perfect size for me and my 2 dogs. And we went to Champion Lakes, which is just outside of Fruitvale, BC, if you are familiar with the Kootenays at all. Absolutely lovely, 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 lovely campground. Anytime that you're, you know, on a dead end road that's 10 kilometers away from the highway, you know you're gonna have peace and quiet. So yeah, I was busy working away on my macrame and some knitting, but I also drove into Nelson one day, and one of my favorite things to do when I'm traveling is I like to stop at yarn stores and just check them out. So I stopped into the Nelson yarn store, and I came away with this, which I don't know if you can see, but it will be my next pair of socks after I finish the paint ones that I'm working on. It is by Lichen and Lace. It is Lichen and Lace. And it's, yeah, hand dyed. I'm just super soft. I think it'll make a great pair of socks. I'm really excited. So now I really want to get the paint ones finished. And yeah, hopefully when I'm back next month, I will have these on the needles and the paint ones on my feet. So that's it for this week, this month, this episode. I'm, you know, really not polished at all. It's funny because when I recorded episode 1, I recorded it at the end of June, and I put it up, and I think it sat there for a day and a half and had 0 views. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is awful. How many times have I said, so anyhow? There's nothing like watching yourself on film. Honestly, it's yeah, it's kind of scary. So anyhow, so I pulled it down, and I wasn't gonna put it up again, but then I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna put it up and see what happens. And I kind of got my mind blown that I had, you know, over 300 views within a few days, and some people actually subscribed. So that was really kind of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's nice to know that my craziness can, you know, filter into your living room, and and that you would maybe come back and watch a second episode. So yeah, that's it for today. I thank you for watching. And if you have any suggestions on good cardigans that I could knit, possibly if I frog my Felix cardigan, I'd really appreciate it if you'd post it in the comments and let me know, because I just don't seem to have any luck with cardigans. That's the 3rd one I've knit, and the 3rd time I've been sort of disappointed by the outcome. So yeah, if you have any suggestions on a really good cardigan that's not boxy looking, yeah, please let me know. In the meantime, stay safe, stay cool, and happy knitting. Bye for now. Hi there. Before I sign off completely for this episode, I just wanted to add on, I didn't realize how bad this was until I saw it on video. I have 3 jobs that I do, and I work as a writer and a photographer and a stained glass artist. And so I tend to do all my knitting at night, and usually the light is poor quality. I like to read while I knit. or watch, you know, stream something on the television. And I honestly didn't notice how bad the transition was on this. It's just like, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So sadly, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to rip it back all the way to where I started that skein of wool and alternate rows and redo it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the sleeve so that it's almost, you know, sort of finished. And I'll take a picture of it and then I will redo it. And in the next episode, I will hopefully be able to post the two pictures side by side so you can see what it was, where I screwed up, why I screwed up, and yeah. So anyhow, bye again. I'm off to one of my jobs. All right, take care.